I'm pretty sure that the Bigfoot that was shot in 1953 and Bigfoots and Sasquatch in general are alien in origin. And one of the reasons why I feel this way is that physiologically it's so much different than anything on this planet. My father said that when they shot it, September 23rd, 1953, that when they were butchering it, it was an ordeal. He said that the skin was so tough that if you took a knife and went like this and tried to puncture it, it didn't puncture. That the only way that they could really cut it was like sawing at the hide, that it was tougher than anything he'd ever run across. Now, he shot it with his friend Morty Lucas. Him and Morty had a slaughterhouse, a meatpacking plant in Missouri. So they were used to, you know, they knew what they were doing as far as butchering an animal goes. The one thing that he said besides that, he said that the meat, and I cut some of the meat cuts like normal meat. That's why I am going to eat it. I'm going to try and eat a small piece of it, which there's a note from my father saying, do not eat it. But I am going to try it. But the other thing that he said that was tough about cutting it up was that the tendons and the veins were super tough, and they couldn't cut those with a knife. He said that they had a real kind of elasticity to them, and they were real stretchy, and if you tried cutting them, he said it was like cutting steel. So the guy that was with them had to run, they were hunting on an Indian reservation, goose hunting, had to run to the general store on the reservation and got these, a pair of bolt cutters. Now remember, this was 1953. These are the actual bolt cutters that they used to cut the tendons and the veins on the Sasquatch. Look at how old it is. It's rusty. You know why it's all rusty like this? Because they cut it up in a swamp. This pair of bolt cutters, my dad's had for years. I got these when my father passed away. I saw him use them a couple of times, and he joked about it. Like, let me use the bolt cutters that I used to, you know, butcher the Sasquatch. But these were in the garage along with all the organs. They took the organs out. My dad froze the organs. But I think in the late 60s, he placed them in jars. So they're in jars of formaldehyde. So the jars were all lined up in the garage, and he had this too. I know for a fact that this is a pair of actual bolt cutters that were used to butcher the Sasquatch, because it says it in his will. And these, not for sale. None of it's for sale right now. I'm getting all kinds of offers. ABC, NBC, CBS, a company in Japan. I'm weighing my options. I don't have to break anything out, and you know, I don't have to do anything. It's my property. And the one thing that I wanted to say is I don't need any advice on how to deal with this. I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to do anything stupid. And if you're wondering if the Sasquatch, the frozen Sasquatch body parts, is on my property, no, it's not on this property, so don't even come here and look for it. If anybody has any crazy ideas about, oh, I'll just get the Sasquatch body parts, you're insane. You're insane. Anybody that's saying something like that, or like, you want to get involved and help me. Oh yeah, would you like me to give you the address of where the body parts are? You could go get them for me. And one thing about that, the foot and the arm was shipped up here. This is true. FedEx on dry ice, in coolers. A problem with the torso is this, and my father told me this for years, and I didn't know this until recently, that the torso, just the torso without the organs in it, you know, a relative of mine is watching all the parts right now, and that's all I'm going to say. But the torso weighs 350 pounds. That's without the legs, the arms, and the organs. I don't even know how I'm going to get it up to New York State. It's a real problem. But this is the actual bolt cutters that were used to butcher the Sasquatch. So these are the actual bolt cutters used to butcher the Sasquatch. If you look, see how it's all screwed up? That's because the veins were so tough. It screwed it up. It's all rusty because it got all wet in the swamp, but my dad always kept this. It was always like a prized possession that he would never get rid of, and either will I. It's a very tough animal. Like I said, my father was in talks with John DuPont for a while because they both thought that it would have like some type of military applications, meaning the hide is so tough, if they could, you know, make something synthetic like it could be used as some kind of armor. Same thing with the veins. They were thinking that the veins, since the veins were like not normal, that they, you know, as tough as steel, that maybe those could be used in military applications or some type of industrial applications. It's actually, it's real. I'm telling you, this is 100% real. The Sasquatch that my father and Morty Lucas shot, it is the only known physical evidence of Bigfoot. And my guess is it's alien origin, just because physiologically it's so much different than anything on this planet. One other thing, I'm so sick of the stupid Sasquatch researchers saying, let's see the DNA evidence. The DNA evidence, you're an idiot. There's nothing to even compare it to. You understand that? Do you know what the DNA evidence said about the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot my father shot? Unknown carbon life form. There's nothing to compare it to, so shut up. Do you know what means more than anything? The x-rays. The x-rays of the foot. It's so clear. It's so clear with when you see the x-rays that this is so unlike anything on this planet. Stop talking about DNA testing. You don't know what you're talking about. We have nothing to compare it to. There's nothing like this. It's just carbon-based life form. That's what it comes back as.